and also maybe mentioning that most of them hadn't got enough educational level, so they only achieved the primary education. In light of this situation, NGOs in Spain, such as the association Proyecto Hombre, have driven new initiatives of high impact which contribute to achieve employment for thousands of assisted people. We have to contribute on that. We needed to change our methodologies and to include employment services within the treatment, because many of them, even though they had a good success in treatment, didn't find a job afterwards. Proyecto Hombre briefly is a consortium status NGO in Spain for drug addiction. It's a large, very large and grassroots NGO since 1985 for the most vulnerable population. We treat every year around 18,000 drug dependents. We develop prevention programs, and we have more than 200 facilities. If you want more information, you can visit our website, proyectohombre.es. Facilities, we have a lot of therapeutic communities, paid outpatient units, low diagnosed long-term treatment, in-prison treatment. I think that we are working inside of 40 prisons. We anti-services, school prevention programs, and what I want to focus on today is this. We created the employment reintegration services while they are in treatment. We offer them and we empower them while they are in treatment to have as much opportunities as possible to find a job in the future. We take this great advantage that while they are in treatment to empower them to find a job in the future. And what I've tried is to summarize in 6 initiatives of this service in order to make you understand it. First, it's what we call, first step, vocational guidance, to accompany personally through the long journey of finding a sustainable job. We try to design with them a personal itinerary because each one is different, differs from another one, have different stories, different educational levels, different competencies, etc. And when they are prepared, we inform them about job vacancies. When they get the job, we still keep on following them because we want them to maintain the job, to cope with everything. And not all the staff are prepared for doing this job. So we had to train them better and to hire new specialists for well-prepared. This is a picture of a moment of this vocational guidance. The one in the left is Carla Marcos, it's here, okay, if you want to recognize her. Thanks, Carla. Second step, pre-employment activities to acquire basic social skills and computer competences. Why? If we don't start the game from the beginning, we will regret it afterwards. And we do hundreds of activities, not strictly directed to work, but for letting them acquire these minimum basic activities, as to talk to someone, to use a computer, to be confident, to express the emotions. These are very basic competences that they will need it afterwards. We see treatment as a second chance educational school, and we promote them to experience social activities in the community, reducing the computer literacy gap. These are just a few examples. We do a cane therapy to look after the horses. We do a lot of volunteering activities. Those in blue and white are users in treatment. This is a running race. This is the last session of a computing course. You see they are very happy because they got the certificate. We do theater, clown, etc. Third step, job search, workshops. Okay, how to train in order to obtain employment. We focus on basically 3 things, issues. Elaborating the cover letter and CV. You can imagine that this is not easy because they come from prison, they have been working just a little in their life, etc. So how can you make a logical CV like this? Then second, practicing how to behave a job interview. So you also can imagine sometimes it's quite funny because we do a lot of role playing and how to hail, how to look, how to dress, how to sit, to be punctual, to promote the best part of yourself, to pick up the phone, basic. And we role play that. And also learning to use the job browsers on the internet, because you know that nowadays many jobs are obtained through these internet job browsers and they have to get used to it. This is a session of these workshops. This is another session. Fourth step. Okay, we offer them professional courses to prepare them directly into reasonable jobs. We do short-term specialized courses. Short because we don't want them to drop out. We want them to finish the course, and I think it's important as a successful experience. Focus on those with less educational levels, that they will have worse opportunities. And what we try to foresee is in the job market, which are the jobs that are more offering vacancies, and balance with the competences of our patients, and try to offer the professional courses with higher probability to find a job. And they include, most of the time, traineeship in the companies. They start in the companies as trainee, and we want them to continue as employees. This is an example: cooking course, carpentry course, querying, stone cutting, painting. Okay, 5. Proyecto integration companies. All what I've been saying before, it's not enough. We realized that we had to create our own companies also to those people with more difficulties, to employ through our own vocational enterprises for people at the last stage of treatment or having already finished it. It's not a job for a long time, for the rest of your life. It's a halfway solution, meanwhile they are not integrated in the job market, and it's also focused to those with less incomes. Imagine if they finish treatment and they have no job, they have no family support. We cannot accept them to go to the street, on the street again. So we have alternative solutions. This is a restaurant called Hombre in Mallorca Island. If you ever go to Mallorca Island, please go to eat this restaurant. This is very, very good. You will eat very well. See the dish. This is a fish farm in Galicia. This is the northwest of Spain. This is a cattle farm. You see the cows now? Cattle farm. In Barcelona we have a clothing store. These are just some examples. Clothing store. Have a community kitchen for people on the street, but the ones who work there in the kitchen are recovered people. And this is a very nice project. This is a pilgrim hostel of the Camino de Santiago in the center of Spain, Leon, also run by recovered people. And then the last one, cooperative employment networks. We also realized that we had to belong to networks that involve key stakeholders to raise jobs for vulnerable people, with the principle to reciprocal aid amongst NGOs. We all have the same needs, common population, and we can find jobs together for each one, with the participation of the public and private sector that fund employment services run by the NGOs, and applying as much as possible for the social responsibility of the companies in Spain. It's not easy. And maybe the biggest and the famous network of this type is called Incorpora. The leadership comes from CaixaBank, is one of the main banks in Spain, and it funds 370 NGOs in order to devote resources, people, professionals, to find jobs everywhere, mainly to companies, small and big firms. And if you see last year, it's amazing. We, within this network, the 23,000 job contracts were signed. This is a very amazing number. Another one, I have no time to explain it, but it's in solar project, the European Social Fund by the European Union. It's a 4-year plan until 2019, where we participate 20 Spanish Proyecto foundations with the objective to improve the employability of 2,000 recurrent drug-dependent people in Spain. If you want more information, you can enter, or if you want to apply for it. Outcome, last year, the end of Proyecto Hombre's treatment, 76% were employed. So remember, we said in the beginning of the presentation that only 33 had a job before initiating treatment. And this is a great solution amongst this crisis, taking profit of the people while they are in treatment. Sorry for my English. And then, last remarks, some considerations. Drug treatment's efficacy may fail if we don't pay accurate attention in promoting real job opportunities. We shall stress national and local governments to adopt more employment measures for vulnerable populations and encouraging the private sector through tax benefits as other countries have. Stigmatization will be diminished if we demonstrate to the society the advantages of a recovered person at work. And finally, dealing with unemployment is definitely related to drug demand reduction, and these practices should be properly evaluated. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Oriol. I think that this last presentation was perfectly complementary with the two others, no? Giving us the practical, the evidence of the fact that these people have resources, and they can find out their resources if they are accompanied in this process. They have weapons, if you speak about the therapon, no? And the therapist can help them to discover their weapons and their resources. And their initial reaction would be, do you think I have resources? Do you think I have weapons? I was told since I was in school that I was a failure, that I was no one, that I was only a zero, that I was only a disgraced situation for my family. Now I discovered that I have weapons, and probably I have weapons and resources more than others, because this 76% is going to challenge the unemployed population outside that have not had an experience of addiction before. So you reach a level that is probably not in competition with the general population in a country in crisis. It means that these people are full of resources. Their personal history has put them in the condition not to develop their resources or not to be aware of their resources, but the therapeutic program has exactly this role. And it is also unbelievable the fact that if you look always to the international standard of treatment, we dedicated an entire chapter to recovery management. No? You cannot do treatment and then abandon people in the street. You cannot do treatment and say goodbye, because this is a chronic disease. Here you have a value because you give them a job, you give them an opportunity, but there is also value because you maintain in this way a contact after the therapeutic intensive period. And that is becoming a recovery management or aftercare period that is absolutely extremely important in preventing relapse to drugs. So now I open the floor for questions or comments, or please.
Thank you very much. I'm Thanasis Apostolou. I'm director of the Vienna Association. It's a small organization. We are since actually last year in Athens. We opened an office there. Before that time, we were working as freelancers, and internet was our communication means. But we had now the opportunity to open an office, and we see also a little bit more the situation in Greece from very near. But we are also busy with the Western Balkans in general. But our main task is advocacy. I would like, because this theme is Southeast Europe and crisis, economic crisis, to just say some questions which may sound very critical, but for me it's a reality. What I see also in these presentations here, we are too much institutional centered, let's say, in our presentation also of the whole issue. I have really very much appreciation for the work that Kethea and others are doing in this field, because the quality of their work is excellent. There is no problem about that. But the problem is not just the work of these institutions. There are more actors that are active. And when we present something like that in an international setting as the UNODC, in a world gathering to report, let's say, a little bit about the crisis, Yeah, I would like, but that is my opinion, that there would be a more global and more, let's say, integrated presentation of the situation. And I miss here institutions in Greece, for example, who do work near the same level of money and possibilities and so on. And yeah, I don't hear anything about it. And that's a pity. My point is, if you want to really tackle the crisis, you have to cooperate. I find it really disappointing from the political situation in Greece. They don't cooperate while the country is really in a danger as such. We have a crisis which cannot be faced just with one political party that gets the majority and then cannot make anything because there is a lot of opposition against it. And I think that when you see a country being in such a crisis, you have to cooperate. And something like that, parallel to this, I think that we also in the sector of drugs, we have to cooperate. And we have to understand each other and respect also our ways of doing, and criticize, of course, to some extent. But, and then I would like to have one more observation. When Elena says, yeah, we have not to follow this, let's say, the privilege of the least expensive. Yeah, I think if you speak about privilege, your institutions are more privileged because you have done very good work in the past. And then I come a little bit to your point about the conventions. The work therapy in Greece has been introduced by Kethea in the 80s. Before, if you spoke about drugs, it was pure criminal activity. And that is something that I actually, now I don't understand that there is another, let's say, movement who says we have to go a little bit further than that and see that there are also new ways. But I stop here because we don't have time.
Thank you. My immediate reaction would be next year we book M3, 2 slots, and we give the floor to all the stakeholders. We can manage to dance on 2 slots of 2 hours and then all the stakeholders.
Yeah. Promised.
I take this as already guaranteed.
Okay.
Could I make a comment to what Elena said? You are absolutely right. But this was a limited presentation because we presented what we do as organization, and that was the point. So what Gilberto is saying is a great idea. We can do it. And as I said yesterday in the plenary, when I read the statement in the plenary, there is a saying in therapeutic communities that goes like this: you can do it. You can do it, yes, but not alone. So of course, that's a great idea for next time.
It's not a question. Actually, I just want to say I'm a medical doctor. I have an NGO in Romania, and we try to be active in this field. And I just want to say that it was very inspirational what you presented. So really, just to see that it's possible to fill the gaps and to find a way to help people effectively, it's wonderful. So just encourage you to carry on.
You see, we have another actor to fill the 2 hours.
3 hours.
Prepare the presentation.
Say something? Hello, good morning. My name is Elena Marini. I'm head of street work team in Athens. I work for Kethea. And I'm wondering why do you do that comment, Mr. Apostol, because in the field, I worked 15 years in the streets. So in the field, all expertise of Athens has got a very big network. And lately, with the economic crisis, we have lack of money, but at least there are many people there down there with enthusiasm, and even if somebody is from Kethea or Ghana or whatever, we used to support each other and work with people there. And Phaedon had a great presentation for the situation both for Thessaloniki and Athens, which is really bad, and you can see that from the photo exhibition upstairs. It's an exhibition which presents the situation. It's in total 30 photographs, 15 from addicted women, It was given a photograph and they
A camera.
and they photographed whatever they wanted from their life. And that was a really great job because sometimes people use to give labels to people, drug users, prostitutes, or whatever. And this is a good way to give another option and come closer to their difficult life. I brought some leaflets there, so if you want, you can have for the exhibition and from the work of Kethea. And if you want to see the exhibition, I will be very close there, so just feel free to ask whatever you want to.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So now I have to close because we have reached the time and the plenary is starting again. Thank you again for being here. And thank you very much.
Hello. Hello. Prime Minister. It is. It's enough. All right. Well, bro. Okay.